Welcome back, my friends, to Golarion. So last time, you 4 plus a badger and a rat had been dispatched to the town, to the country of Ustalav, ghost-haunted Ustalav, as a staging ground to enter the undead wasteland called the Gravelands, where once the nation of Lastwall stood. Your purpose in doing this was to find a town that had been built in these last few years called Steadfast, where normal people have been doing their best to survive against the depredations of the Whispering Tyrant Tarbafon. You have made your way through the Gravelands, following in reverse the directions provided by one Claudiette Dralston, a Pathfinder who had helped this town spring up. You have found evidence of undead Pathfinders in this place who have been perhaps corrupted by the Whispering Tyrant's influence. You have a number of missions to do. One is to install a keystone into the foundational building of the town of Steadfast to protect it from undead attacks. You also have been tasked with finding out about as much as you can about piecing together maps of the Gravelands, and to try to get this knight, Sir Cray Darahan, to return to Caliphus, the capital of Ustalav, so that he may be better utilized by his knighthood, his knightly order, as opposed to mounting a potentially suicidal attack on a nearby tower ruled by undead knights. Is that about all of it?
There was some emotional damage in there, but that's fine.
Yeah, it sounds about
Sure.
right. I was gonna say, how close are we? How close is the maps clock to being filled up?
Well, you'll notice. What do you mean maps clock?
I was joking about how many maps you have to find to finish the quest, and my brain turned that into clock.
Oh, I don't know. How many do you have?
Quite a few, I believe.
Well, there's a specific number that they want, and if you have it, then you've done it, and if you don't, then you haven't.
Every place that we stopped on the map, I think we have found pieces of maps or travel notes, notes about the area. Mm-hmm. So we've successfully found all the stuff for all the stops. So.
All right. I don't think there hasn't been one at every stop.
No, there was definitely one at the Lost Caravan. I think there was one at the riverbank, and there was some at the Haunted Grove, which was also a haunt.
Okay.
And was a less than fun time for everybody.
Indeed. Okay. Well, in that case, yeah. Anything last luggage to declare before we board?
Don't think so.
Well, we're at a point where we can choose whether we want to heal or whether we want to push through or where we want to go.
Yeah, because now we need to make the decision about whether we head straight for Steadfast, like either on the road or avoiding the road as we were told, or whether we go check out this tower, because we were asked if we could get information about it safely to help dissuade Sir Cray and to bring back to the city, just so they have more information for when they mount their own assault on it.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. So yeah, and you could spend like 10, 20 minutes in the woods healing. It's only without spending any supply points. It's only when you spend the night to rest and get your spells back that you'll be losing supply points.
Well, we haven't lost any yet, and we've not had to spend any yet. So
let's try to keep it that way for right now, as much as we can.
All right. I mean, I know H2's still rocking some damage. Yeah. And I believe, for all our talk about the hassle of spell prep, people were looking kind of low on spell slots, right?
That is
true. Very
so
low.
Maybe it's worth, like, setting up camp here, like, just off the crossroads, because camping directly on the road feels like a really bad idea.
It seems like a really great way to get attacked.
It does.
By stuff.
Yeah, so maybe we, like, move away from the crossroads a bit, but keep it within, like, earshot and eye shot, and get rested up so people can properly heal and our casters can regain to get I say like I'm not a caster. I am. I just haven't used... I think I've only used one of my spell slots.
How many spell slots do you have again, Jay?
3, but I use my cantrips a lot.
That's fair.
I think one of the whole things with Psych... to be fair, I would get a focus point back. But I can do that in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So, you stand at the crossroads. You know the watchtower that Sir Darahan wants to deal with is to the west. Steadfast is to the north. If you head to Steadfast, likely things will progress such that you won't be able to double back to the watchtower until, things there are resolved, which means you would not have you would not have whatever information you can get at the watchtower to be able to talk to Sir Darahan about. And it could also give you more, it's additional risk that could end with you, additional risk of getting lost and losing stuff.
So what are we doing then, gang?
What do we want to do? Do we want to check out the water?
And are you planning on sitting down and taking a long rest, a full night's sleep, as it were?
I think it's worth doing that regardless of where we go first, frankly.
I agree.
So
we can decide in the morning.
Yeah. Then let's move away from the crossroads a bit and set up as best we can, like a little makeshift campsite.
Oh, here's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You also think that you may be able to rest safely in Steadfast before things pop off. You just won't be able to leave Steadfast after you've arrived without things popping off.
Yeah.
If we try to leave Steadfast, it'll get the attention. This is the end game. Are you sure you'd like to progress? Little notification as you try to leave.
Something like that. Several cutscenes will play in sequence.
They will be unskippable.
I think H2 would lobby for us to scout out the watchtower before we get to Steadfast.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I'll also remind you, getting your spells back is good. H2 will only heal her level times her con modifier, so she will only heal 6 hit points overnight.
That's not good.
If you want anything more than that, you need to do medical attention.
I can do medical attention when we actually stop for the night if we're pushing forward and not staying the night after all.
Okay.
I like to imagine that we're having this conversation in character and we're just fucking squabbling, standing at the crossroad.
Mm-hmm.
Not squabbling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll also remind you because it seems to treat someone's wounds takes 10 minutes.
Who here is trained in medicine?
I feel like I should be.
Calamus, probably,
but
right?
I'm not. Why would I be? Good luck, everybody else.
I have crystal healing.
Yeah, but crystal healing. Yeah, crystal healing is only poisons and diseases, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. It's not helpful for this.
Well,
I
was going to say, because of being Pathfinder agents, we can all make medicine checks because we have that little bit of know-how. It's just some of us are going to be better at doing it than others.
Yeah. Which is why Calamus and Mindy have the same medicine bonus. because Mindy is trained, but Calamus has an 18 in wisdom. Calamus, something to consider is to take the skill feat natural healing, which allows you to roll nature to treat wounds.
That sounds like a thing I should do in the future, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because you get a plus 11 to nature.
Damn.
Yeah. I know about that nature. I don't know about your squishy human insides and robot as well.
And robot as well.
Well, then let's take 10 minutes. Not on the crossroads. See how we can do with the healing up, and then go from there.
All right. So you take 10 minutes. Let's get some healing rolls as you recede from the crossroads into the woods off to the side. You do hear the sound of clip-clopping hooves and clanking armor faintly coming from the direction of the watchtower. There are undead knights on patrol in these woods, which is pretty gnarly.
It's pretty gnarly.
Who's going to attempt to heal H2?
I will do so.
All right. So it's a DC 15. All right.
I got a 21.
That heals H2 for 2d8 hit points.
I want to say we have a tender little moment where Mindy is trying very hard to understand the wires and stuff, but is sort of just fixing things up on H2, and we have a little tender little moment.
Right. Let me double check. Actually, let me double check that it's not crafting to repair an automaton, because I know. And here's a confusing thing: there's two different, artificial humanoid. Well, there's maybe 4 or 5, but there's androids. Because there's also poppets, which are like toy people, and there is Konrasu, which are shards of cosmic force given consciousness who have built intricate exoskeletons for themselves.
Sexy. Very fun.
Yeah. There might even be others that I'm not thinking of, but I just need to double check if there's any issue. Constructed body.
So neither automaton core nor constructed body say anything about crafting. In fact, automaton core indicates that I'm subject to things that can target living creatures.
Yeah, because you are a living creature. You are infused with planar quintessence, because you have a soul.
Planar quintessence.
Robots have souls in the Pathfinder universe.
Awesome, love it. No notes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. So it means that you must have stuff going on in your body that is like basically equivalent to doing medicine on you.
Yep.
Cool. So that's, so 2d8. Or if you'd like to stay a full hour, it could heal the full 16.
It's up to y'all.
What time is it for us? I think it's getting pretty late in the day at this point. I don't know that we're going to want to spend a full hour on this.
It is getting pretty late in the day.
Do the roll and see how it turns out.
The sky is so dark and gray in the Gravelands that it's hard to say for sure.
Oh.
I got you 11 points.
We're going to go with the one that Mindy rolled.
Okay, yeah. I'm happy to go with the one that Mindy rolled.
There's a difference between a 5 and an 11.
All right, that puts me back up to 37.
Out of a possible
50. So I feel pretty comfortable with where I'm at the moment. So
all right.
I have more HP than all of you. Not combined, but still all of you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, do you head to the Watchtower, or do you head to Steadfast?
I think like full prepared casters, I really do think you guys need to make the choice on this one.
Woof. I think I can push through until we get to Steadfast. I've still got like 1 or 2 spells left that I can pop off.
Yeah, and Disrupt Undead, which has been serving us very well, is a cantrip, right? So
I no longer know what spells I had because I reset them all because I thought we'd decided to do that.
Well, just don't cast any spells until you get a chance to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've used all my heals for sure. And I used one of my animal forms. I haven't used animal allies.
Disrupt Undead is a cantrip, though.
Yeah, so I have no healing for y'all. So it's up to you if you want to do that or not.
I didn't prepare the best spells this time, so I didn't use all of them.
I do appreciate the in-character notion of Calamus being like, well, we can, but don't die, because otherwise I can't help you.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose health, that's on you, baby.
All right, so are we moving on?
I'm fine with moving on because we should not engage. If we're here to gather information to tell someone else not to engage, we shouldn't engage.
I just want to say, for flavor, Ist looks into the camera like we're on The Office.
This will be fine.
We're not going to engage.
I know it's rich coming from H2 saying not to engage, but...
That's why
I love her.
So are you avoiding the watchtower?
No, we're going to the watchtower.
Oh,
we're going scouting
to the
it.
You're scouting.
As requested by the Radiant Order.
Yeah, because the Radiant Order did not, to be sure,
Radiant
did not
Oath.
want you to engage. The Radiant Oath, did not want you to engage. Did not want you to engage it either. They want no one to engage it until they have a full chance to do shit. But all right.
To be clear, I don't think we are necessarily going to go pick a fight. I'm just aware of things that could happen. Because, hey, how is everybody's stealth in this group?
Oh, probably horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, bad. Oh, it's bad.
Ist continues looking into the camera like we're on The Office.
Maybe we shouldn't go to the fucking watchtower, y'all.
No, well, choice is made. Commit to the narrative. We're doing a thing.
Stealth isn't my lowest.
So, a rocky outcropping high above the forest floor provides a vantage point to see movements in the forest beyond. A few hilltops away, a bleak, dark tower rises defiantly above the mist. From the crenellated tower above, dark flags wave in a parody of the last wall heraldry they once bore. Fires within the tower glow with an eerie purple light as the sounds of undead forces create a cacophony of terror from within. Every few moments, the purple light pulses, bathing the surrounding forest in a sinister, lingering glow. So it is definitely, you're like, that is not a place we should fuck with. But thankfully, you've got this outcropping that you can climb up to and kind of scout stuff from from afar.
Can I roll a perception check on it?
You can. That'll give you vague information. What you'll want to do, that'll get you to able to see stuff, which you can mostly see already. If you want to be able to assess. Determine the origin of the forces in the tower. That would be Herald.
What about an Arcana check?
Well, I'll get to that. We'll see if that's on the list.
Okay.
Would be heraldry or society to look at the flags and be like, oh, these are these undead knights who are running around. You can warfare lore to assess their organization and tactics. You could indeed use perception or scouting lore to scout the area as well.
Can I use genealogy, archaeology?
I would let genealogy is, I think, close enough to heraldry that I would let it work with a +1 to the DC.
Got it. God, I wish that Arcana check would have been good, though. I rolled a 28 Arcana check because I misclicked on it.
You did roll a good Arcana check, but unfortunately, Arcana, these are not wizards, so it doesn't really help you.
If only they were wizards. Okay, I have the same bonus to society and genealogy, so I'm going to go society because it's not got that +1 DC.
Well, I'll tell you this. Lores usually have a lower DC than a generalized skill.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to do genealogy. I got a 25, so...
You get a 25. Sick. That is a success.
Woo!
You pick out a few, bits and pieces of the lore of the various knights stationed here. You determine, there's 6 or 7, big name knights all in this place, and they've all become grave knights and other undead abominations.
Yeah, I probably do this by pointing out, like, oh, that heraldry is this family, and that one is this family, and ooh, yikes! I didn't realize that family was there.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a little like notebook open, going, oh, geez.
Like one of them is probably like a second cousin.
Yep, it's like, oh, there's the Melorosa family. I point out, like, you guys seen that heraldry? And I like pull out my like birthright necklace thing with the family heraldry on it. And I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As Mindy rattles through this list of names or families, I'll also be writing it down, just so we got more than one copy. And do any of the names or families that Mindy rattles off sound familiar, having travelled with some of the Knights of Last Wall?
Probably in the sense that like you're like there's no like nasty surprises, right? It's none of the knights that you traveled with are like here, because they all got out with you, and anyone that they had mentioned were people they knew had fallen in the decimation of Vigil.
It's not something that I'm going to necessarily be able to do, but could an argument be made for a survival check to get an idea of how the knights are using the land and any of their formations, just like an understanding of...
I do that. I do survival in place of the warfare lore check. It would be like an increased DC.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. I was just thinking about what skills people might have that we could bring to the table.
Yeah, and you could also do perception or scouting lore to scout out the area.
Yeah, I do have survival, but my perception is a bit better than my survival, so...
How about it?
Yeah, I will... there's a part of me that I kind of want to pitch you on something, because unlike the rest of the party, I do have stealth. I have a +7 in stealth. So I almost want to do like a setup stealth action and risk getting closer to decrease the DC or give myself a bonus to perception.
I also have to stealth, bitch.
Oh. I did not know.
It was a pointed comment, Mindy and Calamus, to be clear. I figured H2 was probably fine.
Rude. A wizard doesn't need stealth. All I do is I sit in my fucking tower and read books and keep my ship and lie.
I'm a cactus.
Does anybody have a spyglass?
Oh, I might actually.
Just as because I think that gives a plus. That might give a +1 to perception checks as well.
I do not have a spyglass. Sorry,
no, because that would have taken planning and
yeah.
And to be fair, it's only the fine spyglass that gives you an actual mechanical bonus.
Oh, fair enough.
Boo. All right, big money, no whammies on this stealth check.
No whammies. Good luck.
Big money, no whammies.
Oh, I got a 20. That's not bad.
20 is about as low as you can roll and still be fine.
Okay.
As H2 kind of creeps forward in sort of panther ingration. We don't talk about it a lot, but you kind of have like little kitty cat ears on your head.
I do, and kitty cat claws, actually. They don't come into play much because I'm not usually unarmed, but I have some automaton armaments that are claws and a claw attack too, so...
Are you telling me that H2 has been a cat girl this entire time?
Yes, actually.
I've been drawing her as a cat girl this whole time.
Yes.
So H2 moves kind of like cat-like through this place, very, very Zoidish. Funny enough, H2 looks very similar to how I imagined a mech in another game that Jade was going to GM ages ago, the big red cat.
Nice.
Neither here nor there. But like H2, kind of pantherine. Gets a little closer. I will give you a bonus on this perception check to scout scout out the area.
All right. Here's my base perception check of 25.
Nice.
25. We'll make that a 26. Close to a crit, but still very much a success. You discover the area, one, has been kind of pounded down flat by a lot of moving and like galloping horses and marching, and like they have been developing this area pretty extensively. They're not quite getting to Steadfast yet, but oh boy, they are making inroads in this place. This is a boss dungeon right here, and it is very close to this town of Steadfast. You see, like in the distance, like a grave knight on like climb to the top of the tower and like whistle something, and you see like some sort of terrible undead winged beast come down that he like mounts and flies away on.
Welp.
We don't see that. H2 sees that with the robot eyes.
You do see you do hear this horrible shrieking call. This is like
Nice.
this is like a level 12 dungeon.
Yep. And that's not us.
Yeah, we're just gonna turn around.
Some other Pathfinders can deal with that.
Above our pay grade.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Some other higher level Pathfinders can deal with that.
So these undead are definitely intelligent.
Yes.
Okay. Can I use Pathfinder lore to see if I can tell if there are any Pathfinders amongst them? Or do we already know?
With your perception check, you don't think so. You think the undead Pathfinders might be a different faction.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
The undead people have beef with each other.
They might not have beef with each other so much as they might just not all be working on the exact same stuff at the same time.
Alrighty. So I come back and relay this information.
I write it down.
Fantastic. And so, yeah. But here's the thing that you notice, H2, is that there's a patrol coming near in your direction, so you're all going to have to figure out how to sneak away.
Welp.
I don't like that.
Yep, I don't like that either.
Basically, if you'd like, so we can do this, like, just each of you figure out, like, a way that you could try to, divert them or just sneak past them, make a distraction, stealth or deception, or maybe warfare lore. A lot of warfare lore in this adventure.
I have genealogy.
That ain't gonna do
Forest
this one.
lore? We're in the forest, right?
I could take forest lore as
Fuck
like a...
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's not that high.
Well,
I've also got it something. Oh,
holy
Calamus.
shit.
Nice.
Oh,
I forgot what a forest is, actually.
you have
You've
3
got
hero
3
points,
hero
babe.
points.
Okay.
For the listeners out there, Calamus rolled a natural 1.
Yeet. Get out of here. Okay. It's not gonna get any better, but let's try.
I mean,
Can't get any worse.
It got 4 points better.
That's a 20. It's 5 plus. You rolled a 5, which becomes a 15 using a hero point. It's a 20.
Oh, I get extra points. That makes sense.
Yeah. That's a house rule. That's one that I use in all my games. So yeah, Calamus is like, oh, I know how to make use the trees to our advantage to like shadow our trail.
Off the back of that, can I utilize my telekinetic rend cantrip and deception to make it sound like there's like something rustling in the trees in the opposite direction?
Absolutely.
All right. Like I aim for what I ask Calamus to help me point out something that looks particularly like dry, like that's gonna probably work the best if I just like do this like crash of psychic energy to move stuff around.
Absolutely.
That is a 24 on my deception check.
That is very much a success.
So we can quickly go in the opposite direction the way Calamus suggested. Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
distract
Yeah,
him.
you hear like bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 as like an undead drumming corps is marching through the woods, and you manage to trick them out of going out of their way, and you sneak away and make your way to the village of Steadfast.
Woo-hoo. We made it.
We did it. Adventure success.
Well,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I appreciate
Mhm.
Zach and I being on the same wavelength where we both just go, woo!
Well,
I know we're not done.
I know you know, but still.
So, despite the torches that ring the town in ever-present gloom, Steadfast appears quite suddenly out of the mist and gloom of the Gravelands. The remnants of a dozen or so structures surround a taller, domed building that may have been a great hall or other central structure. In the firelight offered by scattered campfires in and around the ruined home, refugee families huddle for warmth, share their food, and converse in hushed whispers. Among the population of several hundred villagers, dozens of skeleton refugees assist their living friends with packing and training with rusted weapons and farming equipment under the barked commands of a knight dressed in mismatched armor near the Great Hall.
How do people react to our arrival?
As you come out, you see like a couple of runners who had spotted you kind of say, Sir Cray! There's new folk! And the knight, a half-elf man with mismatched armor and the facial hair of disregard, waves off a pair of skeletal farmer refugees and a burly dwarf with a notched great axe before approaching these obviously living new folk. He keeps a hand on his belt close to his sword, and he says, "Hail! I am Sir Cray Darahan, Knight of Lastwall and Defender of Steadfast.
Greetings.
Are you seeking shelter, lost, or are you here to help?"
Greetings. I am, Melinda Melorosa, of the Melorosa family, and a Pathfinder. We are here to render aid. We brought supplies, and we've been sent by the Pathfinders to, bring you all back to, or into, sorry, out of character, my brain is blanking on the name of the fucking city that we just came from.
Caliphus?
Caliphus, the city I grew up in. You know, the one that I know the name of super well.
You, Claudia, made it. Is she with you? Did you bring the keystone?
We have the keystone.
He gestures, he relaxes very visibly as you note your allegiance to the Pathfinders, and he calls forth some villagers to help you unpack all of the pack that you have.
We have the keystone. She wasn't able to come with us because she wasn't well enough yet, but she is currently with the healers at the Pathfinder Society. She's being cared for.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Tomas, he picks up he reaches into the bag of supplies, pulls out the keystone, and says, hands it to a skeleton, and says, "Tomas, put this back where it belongs so we can prepare to leave, but wait until my signal before striking the final blow." The skeleton kind of nods and clatters away. He's wearing like carpenter's clothes over his skeletal body. You can see an enormous sense of relief on Sir Cray's face. All right. I'm sure you have many questions. I am happy to answer them. And if you need to rest, you are welcome to our meager stores. It must not have been an easy travel through the Gravelands.
It wasn't. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. And I've got a list of questions. Let me just put them in and make them available to you.
I guess sort of, as this guy is doing, I say, if you don't mind me asking, what exactly does the keystone do?
That was Elios' idea, and here to protect us. Before he died, Elios worked out a way to imbue the keystone with some sort of magical sanctuary spell. However, in the heart of the Gravelands, he said the ritual would only work if he found some holy grove nearby, or got the stone out of the unholy night of this place. Once the stone is placed back in the main building over there, it will protect the village from whatever causes the dead to return. That will help the few of us that can fight to defend this place long enough to get the refugees out without getting overrun by the Death Knights or the Ivory Reaper's forces overwhelming on numbers.
I see.
If you found us, that Ivory Reaper might have as well. Did you prepare a map? Will you be able to help me defend my town?
Those are two very different questions, but yes, we do have a map. And we'll do our best.
There is no defending this town.
Oof.
You must leave.
Out of character laughter. Just H2 making friends.
I love H2.
Yep. H2, out there with her 0 charisma.
What my companion means here is that this, unfortunately, this town does not have the defenses Mindy looks a little stumped as to how to make that sound a little bit more,
Perhaps you misunderstand. The Keystone is not to protect this place in perpetuity. It is to ensure that while we organize our evacuation efforts, that when we are attacked by the Ivory Reaper or any other undead forces, that those slain in the attack do not immediately rise to join the ranks of the enemy.
All right. Sorry to butt in. You keep mentioning this Ivory Reaper, and I'm fairly certain that hadn't come up in any of our briefings. Who the fuck is that?
The Ivory Reaper is a... Let me actually double check. I think this might... I'm not sure if it's a character or a...
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a god.
I think it's a character.
I didn't know if it was an epithet for a god that he's cussing out, or...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to...
No, of course. It's a good name. I want to know who it is.
Zach posts the questions in the chat. Completely ignores the questions in the chat.
To be fair, Sam asked the first one. Well, the last one of this, but Sam did ask one.
I asked the last one. I asked one of them.
So, under normal circumstances, an Ivory Reaper is a Pharasman priest who hunts the forces of Tar-Bathon. But it seems that one has been corrupted and killed and raised to become an undead champion of the Whispering Tyrant. That is the one I speak of. And you would know that Seldrick Dralston was a Pharasman priest.
Yeah, we encountered that. We encountered a haunt. You know that sacred grove you were mentioning? We managed to kind of cleanse it of its bad vibes, so it shouldn't hurt anybody anymore. But we've seen some of his handiwork.
Then you know that he is a dangerous foe and not one to be taken lightly, which is why I could use all the help I could get defending this place before the folks here are able to evacuate.
Well, as long as it's just defending, because we heard that you've got intentions towards attacking the watchtower, and we did a bit of scouting there before we came over here, and it's bad. I think... Why are you so het up on going there before you can get more reinforcements? Why is that even a priority for you when there's all these people that need to be evacuated?
That tower is the source of what ails this land, or at least the area around it. There's a dozen of Vigil's knights that were sent to defend it before Lastwell fells, but some foul magic killed them and remade them in undeath. Elios, the Pharasman priest I mentioned, he figured out that destroying whatever magic is in that tower would make it so the dead could rest in this forest.
Which is an incredibly important thing to be done. I am fully in support of undoing the dark magic, animating the dead, and twisting it towards its own nefarious purposes. However, and I get Mindy to pull out, like, the list of names. And, like, we start and, like, get H to, like, draw in the mud, like, how bad the situation is there. I'm like, look, the Radiant Oath are all about moving on the tower, but they need you to come back to Caliphis first.
He seems pretty, like he looks over it a little bit, but you can tell that he's like not really like absorbing it. He says, there will be time to talk about that after we have made sure these people are safe. But I will bear that in mind.
I think H2 looks around a little bit and says, what is going on with the skeletons here? Why have they not attacked us?
Well, so, everything that dies out here comes back as undead, whether they want to or not. But some retain their own minds, especially those who die far from the tower or from the Ivory Reaper that preys on this region. We have more than 100 that have died over the years. Some made it back and tried to pick up where they left off. He gestures to the skeleton who is like carrying the keystone up onto the main building. Tomas over there was a mason in vigil before it fell. He and his family tried to get to Caliphis, but their entire caravan fell into a ravine and was set upon by unimaginable monsters. He died of his injuries here in Steadfast, but once he came back, he tried to help out whatever he could. Not everyone was willing to to accept his health, him being dead and all, but he is a good man. Claudiette was hoping there could be some kind of cure, but we've had no luck. Over time, we've all just grown accustomed to each other. We all want the same thing. Survival. You see, Tomas looks over at you, the four of you looking at him, and kind of just waves with a little clickety-clackety skeleton arm.
I give a little wave back.
I'm trying to think how H2 phrases this.
Is it good how you phrase it?
I mean, probably not. H2 just kind of nods and says, well, I suppose that is better than the alternative.
Yeah, I would certainly say so.
Have we gotten through all the questions? I think we have.
Just the one about him, which we sort of know, but I think it's more like deets.
Which I think you kind of got his whole deal. It would just be retreading all the ground.
Cool.
He says, well, once Tomas gets that keystone fully in place, it'll be like a beacon. It'll protect us from rising as undead, but it'll just as likely lead them to us. Are you ready to fight, or do you need to rest?
We need to rest.
Very well. Tomas, leave it for now. And Tomas puts up a thumbs up. Please. Most of the buildings are half destroyed, but there's, some warmth to be had behind the fires. Oh, yeah. And you take a long rest. You spend 1 supply, as usual, taking it down to 9. What is... do you have any conversations or plans while you're in here? You notice, like, I've had you on the map screen of the town if you want to like look at it and talk strategy. Basically, it's just like a handful of buildings all built around a kind of central, taller, like main hall. They're all basically, dilapidated in one way or another, but they do provide cover and they provide, line of sight blockages and stuff.
Okay. So where will we be resting?
Wherever you want.
Yeah. So just to clarify before we go into character discussions, the keystone locking into place will act as a safety measure, but also as it will effectively like alert any undead in the area. Hey, there's something interesting going on over here. So yeah,
because it's going to be like a pulse of holy energy that they'll just be able to sense.
Yeah. So really that doesn't need to go in until, like, is Cray suggesting that they get, like, a caravan of refugees ready to go, or is it more a matter of we brace for this wave of inevitable undead that are going to come in, and then once that's defeated, then the refugees can move out?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool.
Like they're gonna like kind of bunker down. There's some people will fight. Like Cray has been organizing a militia this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, we know that they're gonna attack us. We might as well fight them here in a battle and then move out rather than just having our caravan get hit as we go.
Cool. Smart. All right.
Do we have an idea which direction we're going to be facing the most forces from? Are they going to be coming from the watchtower, or are we looking at being beset on all sides?
You're not really sure.
Okay.
You could probably ask, what's his name, though?
Well, I mean, it depends on, because there's stuff there, and he'll tell you as well. There's stuff patrolling these woods all over, so it's like wherever a close one is where it'll be coming from.
I think as part of this, and it isn't just because I, Jade, am doing this, Ist is literally, like, pacing out, like, the boundary of town to figure out, like, how big it is, thinking about, like, how far they can throw things, and, like, what spells they have at their disposal, and will be the best place for them to set up during a fight. I'm inclined to think, and this can be sort of half in character, I'm just not always doing the voice, get set up on one of the solid bits of roof, because there's more, well, God, there's paths on every aspect, to be fair. I'm inclined to think maybe this building is this a well right in the center of the town, or is it like a speaking plinth, or?
It looks like a well. A well or some sort of like perhaps at one time it was a fountain.
Yeah,
but it looks like a well to me.
Okay, I just know I want to get elevation for what I can do, so I might get set up like up on this roof over here, which is
Sure.
for our listeners. This is a smaller building. It's right by one of the main paths, or one of the bigger paths into town. I want to make sure there's plenty of debris around that I can pick up and fling, and I will somewhere I can make sure I can set up ghost charges and stuff. Then I'll look to the others like, well, I know what I'm going to be doing. H2, we all know how you like to operate. Which road do you want to get yourself set up in, or you just want to be ready to run to wherever the biggest guy coming in is?
I will set up in a central location so I can easily reach wherever I'm needed.
All right. Mindy, Calamus, what about you two?
I'm going to prepare all of my abjuration spells properly for this fight and make sure that I'm on support as much as possible. Not just for you guys, but also for the others who are here, the villagers and whatnot.
What about you, Calamus? That disrupting spell you did, how much range you got on that?
It's going to be 30 feet, so I feel like I can get some distance and be ready.
You want to get up high as well, or you want to stay on low level with Digsby?
I'm going to stay with Digsby.
What about maybe over, pinging on the map, like it's just below the main building. There's a lot of spots for cover around there, but also, like, probably quite easy to get to everywhere else.
Yeah, Callum's going to stay somewhere where, like, they can still command Digsby, but yeah, that they're more hidden like that.
This mostly collapsed building might be a good spot then, because looks like it's got no roof or walls, so you could probably be set up quite easily in there and take cover, but also have good eye lines everywhere else.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Alrighty, I'm going to put my icon up here, so I am ready.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, as Is sort of walks away into this house, I'm like, are we not, like, sleeping in this?
No. I'm not doing it now. I will go check that the roof is sturdy before we sleep, but this is more Jade, like, establishing.
Valid. I just thought it was funny, the idea of Ist just wandering off.
If you want, Mindy, I'll hang directly around you and ask more pointed questions that you don't seem to want to answer.
Look, when we make it out of this alive, we make it back to Caliphus.
You're not obliged to tell me fuck
I'll
all.
answer your questions.
Okay.
I trust you enough. I'll answer whatever questions.
Enough.
Enough. Look, I don't trust easy, okay? I don't know if you've noticed. I've got stuff, all right?
You're gesturing to all of you.
Yeah. Things that I've not really brought up about Mindy's appearance is that she's always wearing, shoulder-length gloves. And she doesn't take them off around you guys.
She's just a fashion icon, okay?
True.
Yeah.
That's also true.
She's here to serve, voguing the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
That's the somatic component of Mindy's spellcasting. It's just voguing.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It is just voguing. She is just voguing at all times.
Not at all.
I don't think I've got anything else I want to discuss. I just want to keep an eye on Cray because, I'm not entirely convinced by his answer.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, knights have got all these really righteous ideas about doing the right thing and getting themselves dead. In Ist's understanding of I just the notion of a bunch of knights and a bunch of goblins traveling together, and goblins what is your deal with running towards danger and getting dead? Don't see it, don't like it, don't want it. So it's probably not a especially accurate or flattering assumption about people that have taken vows and stuff like that, but it's also not misplaced either.
For sure.
Is this too chaotic neutral for vows and oaths?
I love you.
Ist is a gremlin agent.
I love them. I'm prepping my spells for the battle.
If Ist wasn't a Pathfinder, I'm also vamping, so our spellcasters who need to prepare spells can spellcast. It's if we weren't officially Pathfinder agents, I think Ist would hold to the Groucho Marx quote of "I refuse to belong to any club that would have me as a member." There's a touch of that energy to it.
Incredible. How's H2 feeling?
I mean, she doesn't emote because that's just not who she is, but she has an air of wary watchfulness to her. Just kind of hair trigger sort of aura to her.
Oh yeah.
Got that hypervigilance going on.
Yep. All right. So if our spellcasters are ready, then it sounds like we're ready.
It's go time.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, the night passes. The morning comes. And the people, as prepared as they can possibly be, take up positions. You on one side of the town, others scattered across it. So Cray, Droust.
I was going to say, Mindy, do you want to be right next to H2, or do you want to maybe get off the main thoroughfare?
I'm gonna hide in here with you guys. Or with
Calamus and Digsby.
I need to be within 35 feet of everybody. So
yeah, was good.
This is probably within 35 feet, but I could also hide inside this one. This one doesn't have any roof to it, though, does it?
No, that's just destroyed
foundation.
walls.
Yeah, so maybe I'll hide in this one.
Oh, what, on the ground floor? While I'm on the roof?
Yeah. So I'll be hiding on the ground floor in this corner underneath you.
Cool. All right. Sir Cray Darahan. A lot of D names in this one. Holds up his hand and says, Tomas, knock it in. Tomas the skeleton nods and raises a mason hammer and knocks it back, the keystone, into the foundation. There is immediately a golden light that shoots into the air and then pulses out a ring of gold that blankets the town. And as if on cue, scouts on the outskirts of town blow their horns in warning. An army of the undead comes. And this is the thing. Steadfast was out of the way, was quiet, was the thing is that armies of these size are everywhere in the Gravelands. As they just waves come. There's only going to be a few on the map right now, but just know that they are converging from every side. You see Sir Craydarahan says, "They come! To arms! To arms!" He draws his sword. The other militiamen, folks, have crossbows and spears and pitchforks and stuff as they fight. And you see leading or within the group is another undead Pathfinder.
Hi, it's August, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed us, please consider leaving a rating on your podcast platform of choice, telling your friends about us, or tweeting about us using the FTLcast hashtag. We are also part of a nonprofit podcasting guild called Standing Stones Productions. We do a variety of shows, including The Room Where It Happened and Dumb Kids Playing Hero, 2 actual play shows, and a Steven Universe discussion podcast called Gay Space Rocks. We also do live streams at twitch.tv/StandingStonesProd. You can keep up with everything that we do on Twitter at Stones_standing. Unfortunately, Standing Stones was already taken. Your support means a lot. Thanks again!